Audio Jungle.
Today is November 30th, 2023, and I, your host, Hugh Tran, will cover the recap of the devastation of Hurricane Idalia, which occurred earlier this year on August 26, 2023, and lasted until September 2nd, 2023. Before we cover the hurricane, we must know how hurricanes originate. Hurricanes require two main ingredients to form: warm ocean water and wind. The hurricane formed over the eastern Pacific and Central America area, which during the date of this hurricane was 101 degrees Fahrenheit, which was the perfect ingredient for a hurricane. The other ingredient is wind. As the wind passes over the ocean surface, water evaporates and rises. As it rises, the water vapor cools and condenses back into large water droplets, forming large cumulonimbus clouds, and it then releases heat. This warm air rises and is pulled into the column of clouds. Evaporation and condensation continue building these clouds columns higher and higher. The wind then circulates around the center as you see on the maps of hurricanes. When it gathers more clouds, it becomes a cluster of thunderstorm clouds. When the heat energy is released, air at the top of the clouds become warmer, making the air pressure higher and causing the winds to move outwards. Winds then spin faster and faster, whipping into a circular motion. It then continues in a travel in a direction, getting pushed by the wind, eventually making landfall. So what was the hurricane's timeline? Hurricane Idalia had started forming a disturbance over the eastern Central America around August 23rd, 2023. Throughout the next 2 to 3 days, it would slowly drift northeast into the northwestern Caribbean Sea, which would slowly start growing. On August 26, 2023, around 5 p.m., the storm had grown into a tropical depression. It then becomes a tropical storm on the following day around 11 a.m. By August 28, 2023, Idalia began its northward turn, and after crossing the western tip of Cuba, it would go through rapid intensification by 2 a.m. On August 30, 2023, winds of up to 100 miles per hour, Category 3, then intensifying to 140 miles per hour at around 5 a.m. as it approaches the Florida coast. At around 8 a.m., Idalia makes landfall near Keaton Beach at around 125 miles per hour, which is a Category 3. This area includes the coastal Big Bend in Levy, Dixie, and Taylor. Idalia weakens to a tropical storm at around 5 p.m. after crossing Georgia and moving to the Carolinas. It starts approaching the Atlantic coast at around August 31st, 2023. It clears the Atlantic coast of North Carolina at around 5 a.m. and it moves into the east coast of the Carolinas and drifts in the Pacific Ocean, leaving around the 2nd of September 2023. So how was this hurricane impactful? Hurricane Idalia caused a significant amount of damage in thousands of homes, businesses, and other infrastructures along its inland. Roofs of homes were blown away, trees and debris thrown everywhere. Idalia's primary impact was a devastating storm surge across the coastal Big Bend in Levi, Dixie, and Taylor counties. While water levels near the Cedar Keys reached 6.8 feet and the storm surge level was at 8.9 feet, while the Tampa area experienced over 3 feet of storm surges. The system spawned a tornado outbreak with around 12 confirmed tornadoes. It was the most powerful hurricane to hit Florida's Big Bend region since 1896. The hurricane's remnant produced dangerous rip currents across the eastern United States. Over 3.3 million of Florida's 9.7 million acres of agricultural land was impacted across the Pasco County in Florida. 2,000 homes were damaged and 278 customers lost power, and more than 200 flights were canceled across several airlines in Florida. There were 10 deaths related to the hurricane. 4 were in Florida, 3 in New Jersey, and 1 in Georgia, Delaware, and North Carolina. The state's timber industry suffered a major blow to the storm, which caused damage to 289,000 acres of timber, resulting in the loss of $64 million. As of September 25th, assessed damage reached $704 million across Georgia and Florida, and overall, the total damage for the storm is estimated to be around $2.5 billion, estimated to reach about $20 billion. At least 21,000 insurance claims were made, with losses totaling $216 million. Agricultural losses reached $447 million in the state of Florida alone. While recovery efforts are still ongoing, there has been lots of aid provided. FEMA opened 6 temporary disasters and recovery centers across Dixie, Levy, Hamilton, Sylvania, Madison, and Lafayette counties. More than $13 million federal grants and loans has been distributed to homeowners, renters, and businesses in the state of Georgia and Florida. As the week of November 30th, 2023, $181 million for My Safe Florida Home Program, $75 million for the Aquaculture Producers Program, and $37 million in grants to assist timber landowners have been announced. To help with the recovery process, 1,500 federal personnel as well as 19 members of the Coast Guard were sent to respond to the hurricane's impact, as well as the Florida National Guard. Florida's Forest Reserve noted that the extreme winds and storm surge associated with the storm led to the widespread destruction of a lot of trees canopies. In the areas where trees are absent or reduced, there will be higher temperatures, more storm water runoff, and lower air quality. Storm surge created coastal erosions and beach loss, which can reduce the shoreline protection, which makes this area vulnerable to future storms in the future. The extensive flooding caused Florida waterways to be polluted. Things such as wastewater, fuel, and chemicals were leaked. Further, the storm caused the destruction of the natural habitats of animals living in this area. Wildlife such as deer, birds, and fish, and many more were killed to the storm surge or the salinity of the water that the hurricane had brought upon this area. While we are still observing the effects of the hurricane, one thing's for sure, this hurricane caused an impact on the Big Bend area that we'll see for the effects of many more decades to come.